Oh yeah, you all remember this. And you certainly must remember this.
The God-given promise that all are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.
It's impossible to judge 1,461 days of a presidency based on just 100. But a pattern has emerged. The man's got style, and the man's got swing.
By the way, I've already talked to Gates about a thorough review of the helicopter situation. The helicopter I have now seems perfectly adequate to me. Of course, I've never had a helicopter before. So.
Cool, calm, collected, overhauling and steering not a helicopter but a massive cruise ship, the US state. How not to be seduced by the image he projects? The problem is Obama the man may be much more exciting than Obama's policies. He's still on the campaign trail, but a man of action will only match the man of vision, drenched in charisma of course, especially to US workers which are battered and internally divided at the moment, to the extent that he becomes Obama the fixer. For the control freak in all of us, there's always the Obameter. Not many promises broken yet, and a lot going in his enormous to-do list. This is what Obama wants America to know.
I want every American to know that each action we take and each policy we pursue is driven by a larger vision of America's future.
But does that translate into bipartisanship, national unity? Not really. His approval rating among Democrats is 88%. As for a great deal of hyperbolic, hyperventilated Republicans, Obama is a socialist, Obama is a fascist, and all levels in between. They are frankly scary, and people notice it. So Obama has no real, intellectually meaningful opposition, apart from a few progressive spots in cyberspace. But in this article, an Obama administration official finally named the real enemy, conservative Democrats in Capitol Hill. Obama, oh, shades of Tony Blair. He prefers to bill himself as a new Democrat.
If we are looking at the region as a whole and communicating a message to the Arab world and the Muslim world that we are ready to initiate a new partnership based on mutual respect and mutual interest, then I think that we can make significant progress.
In foreign policy, the Obama doctrine is to offer a partnership to everyone and his neighbor. He wants to talk to Russia and Iran. And most of all, he's already talking nuclear with Russia. But from remonstration to reassurance, everything is artfully framed. The impression in many cases, though, is still business as usual. From the blockade of Cuba, still standing, to no condemnation whatsoever of the horrendous Israeli attacks on Gaza civilians.
You too have a choice. The United States wants the Islamic Republic of Iran to take its rightful place in the community of nations. You have that right, but it comes with real responsibilities. And that place cannot be reached through terror or arms, but rather through peaceful actions that demonstrate the true greatness of the Iranian people and civilization.
So let me say this as clearly as I can. The United States is not and will never be at war with Islam.
And the former global war on terror, now in its 8th year, under new management, and with no end in sight, is an Overseas Contingency Operations, OCO, redeployed by the Pentagon from Iraq, where failure was rebranded victory, to the AfPak theater, the scene of the hell from above drone war on Al-Qaeda and on Pashtun civilians as well. And all this, while even the very bewildered Pakistani government now seems to believe that the one-man reason for the war on terror may be a ghost. And Obama may want to close Guantanamo, but he won't close Bagram in Afghanistan. Obama's twin baptism of fire have been Wall Street and torture. In both cases, he has not really acknowledged that the system has failed completely. In his global op-ed piece, for instance, published by 31 major papers across the world, Obama couldn't go further than, I quote, "I know that America bears our share of responsibility for the mess that we all face." This is as concise a self-portrait as any of the fixer.
There's been a tendency to spend a lot of time scoring political points instead of rolling up sleeves to solve real problems. There's also an impatience that characterizes this town, an attention span that has only grown shorter with the 24-hour news cycle, that insists on instant gratification in the form of immediate results or higher poll numbers. When a crisis hits, there's all too often a lurch from shock to trance, with everyone responding to the tempest of the moment until the furors died down, the media coverage has moved on to something else, instead of confronting the major challenges that will shape our future in a sustained and focused way.
But he could not acknowledge that the US free market outsourcing model is dead. He believes in the Fed fabricating $12 trillion out of thin air. And the best and the brightest stress his no banker left behind plan is destined to fail. And he just needed to read the testimony of the man behind the hood, Professor Ali Shalal, to order the prosecution of American torturers. As a very ambitious, very talented, consummate appeaser, and in exchange for a few concessions from the US elites, Obama has made sure illusions will remain. And they hope that everything may go back to business as usual one day. Bob Dylan said Obama is like a fictional character, but real. But unlike Dylan's characters, he's no gambler. He can't tolerate risk. So there's been no accountability. There's been no catharsis for, in Obama's own words, the mess we all face. Yes, after the baby emperor, the Obama shuffle is like Michael Jackson's moonwalk. Obama rules over the news cycle and he talks a great game. But the old order, the industrial military complex, the financial industry, big pharma, remains extremely powerful. He may be opening the door to hope.
A place where anyone from anywhere with a good idea or the will to work can live the dream they've heard so much about. That is the house upon the rock.
But for the moment, this is a very, very rocky house. Is perception reality? Could Obama be just a puppet on many strings, an emergency facelift to brand America? Still popular after all these days, oh yes, no doubt about it. But will cool power translate into soul power? In those long white nights at the White House, perhaps the better angels of America's nature keep whispering in his ear, "Be bold, young man, be bold."
There are times when reality just asserts itself, in spite of the haze created by television news and entertainment. Sometimes crisis rips a tear in the fabric of myth and propaganda. Now a profound economic crisis has ripped asunder the American dream itself. Millions of people losing jobs and homes. They lack proper health care and any real sense of security. Since 2001, workers' wages have fallen or remained stagnant, even though worker productivity has risen almost 33%. By 2006, the top 1% of households were receiving 23% of all pre-tax income, more than double what it was in the 1970s. It's the greatest concentration of income since 1928. As unemployment rises, we need to know why this crisis is happening and what we can do to defend ourselves. Why are wages so low? Why is the society so laden with debt? Is it in ordinary Americans' interest to have a $1 trillion military budget to project power across the globe? Corporate television news won't ask these questions, let alone try to find answers. Only a truly independent news network can tackle these questions with courage and with ordinary people's interests in mind. We need a news network that's independent of corporations, governments, and political parties. We need the real news. But there won't be a real news network unless we raise substantial funds right away. The current financial crisis has hit our funding hard. Together, we do have the power to turn it around. There are already hundreds of thousands of people watching the Real News every month. If everyone pitches in, we can build an internet and cable television network that will change the face of media forever. You can organize house parties, talk to friends at school and at work, send email blasts and spread the word. Distribute this video to everyone you know. Pick up the phone and call a few friends and suggest they visit therealnews.com. Invest just 10 minutes a day to ask friends and colleagues to join the campaign to create a truly independent source of internet and television news. Together, we can build this network. Just 50,000 people at $10 a month gets us to our first level of sustainability. You can help us reach this goal, and when we do, we'll move to television in millions of homes across North America. Help us reach an audience in the millions. Please contribute generously. Spread the word. Let's make the Real News television network a reality.
Your tax-deductible donation makes it possible. Please contribute at therealnews.com.